Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome Miss America 2019, Neil Franklin. Remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by Michelle Epps.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watch, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Please welcome Winston Salem Mayor Pro Tem and Council Member of the Northeast Ward, Vivian Burke.
Good afternoon. What a great day in the city of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The song we just heard is one of the most serious songs we can hear. When you listen to the words, the home of the brave, and so free we are in this great country, America. We are so grateful to God that He gave a couple, a child, who has become Miss America. We're also grateful because she lives in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This is a day that will be written well in history. There'll be no debate, no discussion, it'll just be there. We are grateful and honored. I failed to do protocol. One of our council people, Mr. Larson, come take your seat up front. Councilmember Larson. And of course, we have Councilmember Montgomery who will speak. All of us are not here today because they had schedules that they could not change. The mayor especially asked me to say to you, he had one he could not change, but we will be there tomorrow in place. Do we have any other elected officials here? I have a son who's a Superior Court judge, and he's sitting there as if though he's not an elected official. Thank you. And his wife, who will be a member of the school board, Ms. Burke. We also have our city manager, Mr. Lee Garrity. And we have Mr. Rao, assistant city manager, here with us. And the person who's been putting all this together, Mr. McNeil and his staff. Mr. McNeil. So again, I greet you, I welcome you, and I want you to know that no one will be able to take the J out of joy for what's in my heart today. God bless you.
Please turn your attention to the screen for a message from Winston-Salem's Mayor, Alan Jorns.
Good afternoon. I'm Mayor Alan Jorns. You know, there are a lot of things in Winston-Salem in which we take great pride. Things like Old Salem, our outstanding arts organizations, our vibrant downtown, and our beautiful parks and greenways. And today, we celebrate the latest reason for community pride, our own Miss America, Nia Franklin. Ms. Franklin, I regret that I could not be here today to tell you in person how proud everyone in Winston-Salem is of your accomplishments. I couldn't be here today because I have a previously scheduled out-of-town family event. Now, I know I'm not alone in expressing this sentiment. Just a short ways from here is Mount Zion Baptist Church, where your talents were first nurtured. I'm sure that the congregation there is fairly bursting with pride. And the same can be said for the faculty who watched your talents mature at the University of North Carolina School of the Arts. Your story is all the more inspiring for the lessons it teaches us in patience and persistence. These are lessons that I hope all of our young people in Winston-Salem will take to heart. To your parents, James and Christy, I say thank you for raising such a wonderful daughter in our community. You'll always be welcome here in Winston-Salem, so don't be a stranger. And I look forward to being with you tomorrow at Mount Zion, at which time I plan to extend a very special honor to you. Thank you.
Now welcome Darren Montgomery, council member of the East Ward.
Somebody said it couldn't be done, but she with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but she would be one who wouldn't say so till she tried. So she buckled right in with a friend without any doubter to quit it and started to sing as she tackled the thing that could not be done, and she did it. There's thousands to point out to you one by one the failures that wait to assail you, but take off your coat and take off your hat and go to it. Start to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you do it. That's one of my favorite poems, Couldn't Be Done by Edgar Guest. I changed the pronoun to make it appropriate for the wonderful woman who has now become Miss America today. And just like so many other stories, many people tell us things that can't be done. You ought not to try to do that, or you should just wait it out, or maybe you shouldn't go that direction. To have here in this community someone who continues to show not only young women in our community, young girls in this community, how you can become and how you can grow to excel, but who challenges all of our hearts to take the leap, to continue to move forward in whatever it is that you have before you, to make that leap and to persist and to continue to move forward. We take that wholeheartedly, and we have great honor in our heart here in the city of Winston-Salem that we can call Miss America one of our own in the city of Winston-Salem. And so today we are challenged to go out and to continue to tell this story. And everywhere that Miss Franklin goes, she'll be able to let it have in her record that Winston-Salem will always be a part of who she is. And also, I would not be who I am if I didn't throw this little tidbit in there, that she happens to be a daughter of an Omega man. And all of those who are members of a great organization are sure proud of a great father. Oh, and a Delta as a mother. Oh, great. Oh, Granddaughter and a granddaughter and a granddaughter. All right. But we are so grateful to have her in our community and to be, again, to be able to be challenged in our heart of hearts, to be able to say that there's nothing that we cannot achieve, that we cannot have at our fingertips if we truly dig our feet in, dig our heels in, and go after it. So thank you to this family. Thank you for your commitment to this community, and we look forward to all of the wonderful things that you'll continue to bring home here to Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Angeli, Vice President of Field Operations for the Miss America organization.
Thank you very much, and I hope you clap after I've done speaking. But because as I was parking the car, I got the call and said, they need you up on stage. You're going to be speaking today. So, but I'm always prepared with something, even if I don't have notes. But I just want to just thank everybody for being here. Truly, this is an amazing event to represent an organization such as the Miss America organization. I want to thank Mayor Pro Tem for being here, the councilman. Thank you, and all the officials here, but also the community, Nia's parents and her family, just an amazing support system. And that's what Miss America is. And the Miss America organization, a lot of people don't realize, they think, well, you do this all year round? They see Miss America all the time, but they think, well, there's people also doing this all year round. But it's truly an organization that's built on the people out there every day. And you're going to hear from Beth Knox, our executive director from Miss North Carolina. And we have countless thousands of volunteers around the country who put this program together at every level, from the local Miss Winston-Salem, or the state level, and then of course the national level. And we're just looking at everybody in this room. I'm humbled to be standing in front of you. I get to do what I love to do every day. I've been doing this for 10 years, almost 10 years, and it's just an amazing thing to work for an organization that gives back, not only gives young women a platform to speak their voice, to showcase their talents and to showcase their intellect, but also it gives the organization, the women who participate in it, the scholarship assistance, which is so needed. And we heard it. If anybody at the panel discussion today, raise your hands, please. All right, so you heard it, but there's college tuition is not a cheap thing, and we heard the scholarship money that Nia won and Davia won, and some of the other candidates on the panel won, and that's some real stuff. I mean, that's helpful, and it's amazing to be part of a program like that. One of the other things that's so great about our program, I'm excited for Nia to do this year, and I know our partners, the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, are very excited when she won, is that she gets to be our ambassador, or the ambassador for Children's Miracle Network Hospitals on a national scale. Yeah, thank you. People don't realize, but actually since our official partnership, Miss America has always been involved with Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, but officially a little over 10 years ago, 11 years ago, Miss America partnered with Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, and since that time, we fund, the candidates who go through this program, the volunteers in this program, help fundraise for children's hospitals to help them in their quest. What they're doing is providing this much-needed health care for the families who are, for their children. And Miss America organization, with all the candidates, all the volunteers in the last 11 years, have raised over $18 million that goes towards children's hospitals and also our scholarship fund. So round of applause for everyone. And we know that comes from the parents' support, and we just appreciate Nia's parents just believing in this program, that you, when Nia came home and said, this is something I want to do, that you supported it. And that's also, so, the families involved in this program that support their daughters in this program, that's also very, we just can't thank you enough. And we want to have a program. I don't know if you're following anything, but there's been some changes. This is Miss America 2.0, and Nia is our first Miss America 2.0. So, and we couldn't be more proud of her. And just a quick little story, though, that I like to share about Nia. So down in Orlando, before Miss America, we have an orientation. We have a little sister program called Miss America's Outstanding Teen. That's down in Orlando. So all the candidates come down, the national, all the state title holders, and we like to, we do orientation down there and get them acclimated, tell them what they're going to expect when they compete at the national level, because it can be kind of intimidating, and we understand that. So we bring people down that they're going to be working with for the 2 weeks there in Atlantic City. And but we thought, we wanted to shoot a commercial, so we thought, hey, this would be great. We have this great partner in Young and Rubicon that's been working with us, and we thought, let's shoot this commercial for the Philadelphia market. So we had New York, Miss Pennsylvania, Miss New Jersey, and Miss Delaware. And we, kind of no big script, just a kind of little quick script. And we had about an hour to film while production was taking a break on the stage. And it was really off the cuff, kind of like my speech today. So, but Nia shined at that because, they're having fun. The four candidates were having fun. It was just going to air in the Philadelphia market. And, but they were saying, well, come and watch Miss America and watch me, Miss New Jersey win. And then Nia gets up there, no, watch me. And then so they all say, watch me, I'm going to win. And then they're playing around, well, it could be Miss Oklahoma or it could be Miss Texas. And Nia comes up and goes, no, it's going to be me, Miss New York, right? And that was great. And the producers loved that. And it was a great clip, but it was like just fun to see the personality and, just how relaxed she was and confident she was. But all the title holders are confident, and they should be, because when they get to that level, they are the best of the best. And we're so proud of them. So I don't want to take up, see, that's why I need notes, right? Because I'll just keep going. But no, I just want to thank everybody here. Truly, this organization doesn't exist without the support, and everybody in this room taking time out of your day, such a beautiful day, to be here to honor Nia. We are so proud of her. I know Gretchen and Regina Hopper, Gretchen Carlson, our chairman of the board, and Regina Hopper, our president and CEO, are so proud of her, and know that she's already representing our organization so well, and we're just so excited for the year she's going to have, but more than just the year she's going to have as Miss America, for what she's laying the foundation for, which she already started before she became Miss America, and what she's going to do after she becomes Miss America. And we know we have just one of the best representatives, and we're so proud of her. And I just want to thank everybody again on behalf of the Miss America organization. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here, and continue to support the local title holders, the state title holders, and you're all welcome to come back and come to the national show. So thank you again for everything, and thank you for your time.
Please welcome Beth Knox, Executive Director of the Miss North Carolina Scholarship Pageant.
Thank you. And I like that emphasis on the Miss North Carolina pageant. Mr. McNeil, I want to say thank you very much for putting this wonderful event together. I know that you worked very hard along with your staff, and I'm so grateful that the city of Winston-Salem is taking the time to recognize the achievements of Nia Franklin, because what she has accomplished is spectacular. And I think, I know that Winston-Salem is incredibly proud, as they should be, but also but Mr. and Ms. Franklin, I want you to know that the entire state is so very proud of your daughter. I have a few people that I want to recognize briefly. With me today is Kevin Driver. Kevin, if you would just stand. Kevin serves as our vice president, and he is in charge of our Outstanding Teen program. We also have Abby Britt, Miss Johnston County. We have Karen Stallings, Miss Greensboro. We have Camille Bridges, Miss Capital City. And we're very proud that we have with us Caroline Cradle, Miss North Carolina's Outstanding Teen. North Carolina was in a unique position this year going to Miss America. We felt that we had tremendous odds of doing very, very well. There were 4 young women who hailed from North Carolina who competed at Miss America. Miss District of Columbia, who was a top 8, was she a top 8? I believe so, finalist. Allison Ferris was from North Carolina, competed with us previously the year before. Miss Virginia is Emily McPhail, who was our outstanding teen, just as Caroline is for a few years ago. Of course, we had Miss North Carolina, Laura Matrazo, and obviously we had Miss New York, Nia Franklin. And fun fact, The young woman who Nia will crown shortly, who was her first runner-up, Ramika Cox, is also from North Carolina. So we're very proud of each one of these young women, but we obviously are especially proud of Nia. And Nia, I know that you were crowned as Miss New York, and we're trying very hard not to be bitter over that. But we could not be more proud of you. We love Nia, and you know, I remember Nia competed with us for the first time, I believe, in 2016. And was she Miss Capital City in 2016? And I remember watching Nia that year at Miss North Carolina, and if you've not had the chance to meet Nia yet, Nia has this quiet strength about her. And if you know her well, you know where she gets that strength from. But when that young woman opens her mouth to sing, hold on, she's just spectacular. And so she came back again in 2017 as Miss Durham, and there was a change in Nia from the first year. She was a little more confident. And she seemed like she understood what the program was about at that point. The first year you kind of walk into it wide-eyed, and sometimes you see young women and they look like, what have I gotten myself into? Because if it's the first time you've competed, sometimes it can be overwhelming, because all of the women who make it to the state level of competition are the best of the best in our state. And as you heard from the list of 5 young women we just read off, North Carolina is very, very fortunate with some incredible young women. And so Nia's second year, there was a change, self-confident, a little bold, just had a little bit more strength in her step. And you knew Nia Franklin was one you better not count out. You better watch her. And so I believe you made top 10 that year. And we were very proud of her. I know her parents were very proud of her. Oh, that's right. She was a prelim talent winner. That's right. That's exactly right. Thank you. Another scholarship she earned that year. And so Nia's school, her education took her to New York. And I heard that she was competing at Miss New York, and we booked flights, and we got tickets, and we were excited to go to support Nia, and then something happened, and we could not make it. And so we were devastated, but I was huddled in front of this computer trying to watch for updates, you know, and when it came across that Nia had won, I was just elated. Elated because, you know, alphabetically, Miss New York comes right before Miss North Carolina, so we knew that our Miss North Carolina was going to be very close to Nia, and the 2 young women had competed together the year before, so we were like, okay, she's got a friend right there beside her, this is really good. The thing that impressed me so much about Nia was that she didn't quit, and she persevered, and she had faith. And you know, Mark said something a minute ago about that video where she said, don't count out New York. You know, you better watch New York. I believe in the spoken word. And I think Nia has great faith and expressed that faith when she said, it's going to be me. Because you know what? If you don't believe it, how in the world was she going to translate that to that judges panel? And so she believed in herself. And I know y'all get so much of the credit for that belief system that she has. And it was a beautiful thing to watch. I will tell you that on the final night, when the pool kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, I told Nia this the other day. I had my cell phone out, and I was recording the crowning moment, because then it came down. Was it 2? Did y'all crown from 2 this year? And I went back and watched that video the other day. Actually, I was showing it to my granddaughter. And I didn't realize this, but during that video, when it started getting smaller and smaller, I was going, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my goodness. I was so excited. I just knew that this was Nia's year. And it was her time. And everybody has naysayers. And when Nia won, we were nothing but elated for her. But somebody just had the nerve to say, well, why didn't she go as Miss North Carolina? It wasn't her time. She was ready this year. And the Miss New York organization did a phenomenal job of just fine-tuning Nia just a little bit. She was so close her 2 years with us, but she needed that little bit of polish, and the crown was hers. And so congratulations to your family. We're so very happy for y'all. Nia, we love you so much, and we're so proud of you. And thank you so much for having us here today. We appreciate your generosity and your kindness. Thank you.
Now please welcome Miss South Carolina 2018, Davy Bunch.
Good evening. I just look out at the crowd right now and I see so many people here who not only support Nia, but also the Miss America organization. And I just want to thank every single one of you for being here, because this is a time in Miss America's history that we need that support the most. And just looking out, seeing how many people care is phenomenal. And I know that we are going to carry this organization into the next 100 years. And that just makes me so happy to be here and a part of Miss America 2.0. Also, I just want to share a little bit as to why I got started in the Miss America organization, because oddly enough, it fits what Nia's story is as well. When I was 15 years old, my mother was diagnosed with leukemia, and it was a very, very rare form of leukemia. And at 15 years old, I was not old enough to be a bone marrow donor for my mother. And she ended up going through the bone marrow process. She found a donor from Spain, and when I was 15, she ended up passing away, and that was devastating to me. It was something that was so hard to live with, because I knew that I couldn't be there, that what if I was the one? And when I heard that Nia Franklin was a stem cell donor for her father who had lymphoma, it touched my heart, because even though I couldn't be there for my mom, I knew that Nia was there for her family. And although I can't be Miss America, and although that my story stops at South Carolina, I know that Nia is not only carrying my story, but families who are diagnosed with blood cancer, such as leukemia and lymphoma, on a national platform fills my heart and makes it so happy. Also, we all talk, thank you. We mentioned that Nia is a quiet force. And I just have one story. So if you guys aren't familiar with the, sorry girl, with the Miss America format, Nia and I were both in the Alpha group. She was Alpha 7 and I was Alpha 8. So every time we competed, I always had to watch Nia before I went on. She's a tough act to follow up, guys. But I think I did an okay job. And she was always calm, would go right out, do her thing. But before finals night, we were all sitting there doing our hair and makeup. Nia was sitting next to me, and I was freaking out. I remember looking across from me, Miss Alabama. We had the shivers and the jitter. Then Nia was just there sitting so calm, doing her makeup. And I was like, what am I going to do? What if I fumble my words? What's going to happen? Nia's like, do you think this looks okay? And I was like, you look gorgeous. Like, you look phenomenal. But she just had this calmness about her that no one in the room possessed. And I think that in that moment, she knew that she was part of a greater plan, and God gave her that strength and that calmness, and that's what carried her out through the competition. And so she was in the, like we said, the right moment at the right time, and we are just all so blessed. And I know I'm not from North Carolina, but my family moved to Charlotte when I was in college, so I'm slowly accepting North Carolina as my home. And I just want to thank you all again for letting me be here. And you guys we all have a phenomenal Miss America. And thank you again for being a part of Miss America 2.0.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss America 2019, Nia Franklin.
Thank you.
Well, I am very overwhelmed right now, just with love and gratitude, and I'm just so humbled for this moment, and one that I always hoped would come, but it's really here, and it's just so surreal and humbling. So thank you all for being here. I want to thank everyone behind me for your beautiful words to me, just so kind, and thank you all for being here. And I would love to say thank you to God for bringing me here, bringing me this far. I could not have done this without him, without that faith. Absolutely. And to my family that has traveled here to be with me from Winston-Salem and all over, thank you so much. My mom and my dad, my beautiful parents, and my brother are here. And then I would also love to say thank you to my church family for being here. Thank you so much for coming, supporting, as well as the rest of you from North Carolina, my sisters from the past 2 years that I competed in North Carolina. I have a high school friend that here, I mean, there's just so much support in the room, and I really appreciate that. But I would just like to I'll be brief, but I just want to talk about resilience. And people ask me all the time, what's your secret, or what do you do to have success, or, those types of questions that can be difficult to answer because it's not just any one thing, it's a combination of things. But one thing I think is really, really important that I've realized during this time, during this last, I would say maybe 6 months, when I started competing in New York again, it was February when I decided I'm going to do this. And I think the key is surrounding yourself with people who have your best interests in mind and who really love you. That would be my biggest key. And that comes with family, that comes with friends, and I have really important people in my life that have done that for me on so many levels. I remember in February, I was home, and I was actually here for a premiere of one of my compositions it was going to be premiered by a grad student at the School of the Arts here in Winston-Salem. And it was an oboe piece for oboe and double bass. So I had written it, I was commissioned to do this work. And so I flew home from New York, and I was home for a couple of days, and the premiere went great. It was on Valentine's Day. And I think later that night, I was talking to my mom, and for some reason, the topic of Miss New York came up, and just like, would I do it again, and is it worth the time again? Because as you know, because you competed for 2 years, and some of you have competed for more than 1 year, it can be a lot of hard work because it doesn't just happen overnight. Even getting a local title is not easy. It took me 3 tries to finally get a local title, and so it's very difficult. And so it's one of those things where you invest time in it, and you want to do well. And it's to be honest with you, after you lose something twice, it can be hard to get back up. It really can, no matter what that is in life. When you're really trying for a goal and you just don't get it the first time or the second time or the third time, it can be difficult. But my mom said, Nia, what do you have to lose? Just try it again. Because another thing is, if you don't know, Miss America, for the first time in maybe history, raised the age limit from the age is normally, it's always been 17 to 24 years of age for your eligibility. And I was 24, so last year I aged out. And so that was the end of my story, I thought, with Miss America. But they raised the age limit to 25, and I was hesitant. This age change happened in, I think, November of last year. And so from November to February, I was on the fence. I just didn't know. I was busy being a Keenan Fellow at Lincoln Center, and I just didn't know. I wasn't quite ready to take that next step of faith. But between having that conversation with my mom and then a couple weeks later, I was still on the fence, I think, and I was talking to my aunt, Renee, on the phone, and I told her, I said, I just don't know if I should do it. I should focus on my career and just put my energy into that. I'm in New York. I want to write music. That's what I'm here for. And she said, Nee, you can't worry about that. You have to worry about the present and what you can do. And so between those conversations and having people in my life who cared about me and wanted the best for me and supported me, that was really that extra push that I needed. And then also being surrounded by friends who believed in me in New York. Another gentleman that I have to mention, Mac Hopper, who's here today, he was so instrumental in just helping me, because New York is a very hard city to live in. And when you don't know many people, it's really, really nice to have someone who believes in you and cares about you and really feels like your family. And that's what he became for me. So that was so special to have. And it's just, my biggest advice would be to just surround yourself with people who care about you, who love you, who want the best for you, because it can be easy to sometimes not surround yourselves with those people. And so you have to remember that that's what counts, and that's who you need in your life. And even as I look around today, that's what I know I have, and all of my family and my friends who are here, who really didn't have to be here. So I just thank you so much for coming. And I would just like to, again, say thank you to the Miss America organization. Thank you, Mark, for your kind words, and the Miss North Carolina organization for being so supportive with this Winston-Salem homecoming. And, of course, to Winston-Salem with Mr. Ed. Thank you so much for setting all of this up. It's just been so incredible, and I have found myself getting so emotional today. And I'd also be remiss without, again, thanking Davia for being here. I get to see, so there is another homecoming in New York next weekend, but it means so much to me that you were here. One of the only state title holder to come today. I know Laura couldn't be here today, Miss North Carolina, but she will be with me attending church tomorrow, and that is going to be amazing as well. And so I just want to, again, say thank you to everyone that's coming. And please, if I'm forgetting to thank someone, forgive me. Charge it to the head, not the heart. But again, I'm just overwhelmed with love and support. And I just want to say thank you. And if you would like to say hello, please do. Thank you so much. And of course, I have to thank this beautiful woman behind me, the Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you for everything you've done with me today. She actually made a beautiful speech for me a couple of months ago in July when I was home visiting, when I was Miss New York, and I was honored at my church, and she presented me with a beautiful basket. So thank you for your support and all your belief in me as well.
Thank you. The beautiful basket came from Visit Winston-Salem, because we always want people to come back to visit our beautiful city. I want you to know that what we do as elected officials, it takes a good city manager to make sure that things move smoothly. When I said to Mr. Lee Garrity, I said, we have a Miss America lived in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and we don't want to miss a beat. And he assured me that Mr. McNeil's office would follow through properly. And I want you also to know that when we had Mount Zion down at City Hall a few weeks ago, your mother and father and Mount Zion filled up City Hall. And they accepted from each of us elected officials our appreciation for you and for them. Now, would you please stand? People are talking about the mother and the father. Stand up, mother and father. Brother, you stand up too, brother. And thank you. I cannot leave without saying, grandfather, you stand up too. That's another good Omega man. We want you to know that the mayor and the council people, how much we truly appreciate you. This gift that we're giving you was picked with love, appreciation, and caring. When I asked Mr. McNeil and Miss Martin to go get us a nice piece of art, Before they even finalized the selection, Mr. McNeil was on the phone, emailed me also, and we talked about, is this right for Miss New York? And we do feel that it's right. It's a gift. It's a unique glass art produced at the Oleo, a 501c3 glass blowing studio and social enterprise focused on community, arts, education, and sustainability. And this is presented to you with love in our hearts on behalf of all of us who represent the 272,000 people in this city. I don't want to break it. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you. Hold it. Hold this thing. Okay. Come up, Mr. Larson, Councilman Larson. They tell me I never forget anyone. And it's important not to forget people. You never know when you have to go across that way again. We present to you this fine piece of art with all of the appreciation and love in our hearts, because we know that you will make sure that throughout this country, you live in the city of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. City of Arts and Innovation. Yes, we're known for our art. And we don't want you to leave us out as you are traveling around. I said to the city manager the other day, I said, just think, when she calls Winston-Salem, North Carolina, how much money we would pay in marketing if we had to do it ourselves. So we are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
This concludes our program, but please join us in the hall for photographs with Miss America and our title holder.